At this point, we all know how good Alutemu is on OTK Demon Hunter. I've dedicated an entire episode to his prowess with the deck, but somehow I'm still surprised every time I see him play it. With Gur being a full turn behind on quest completion, his only chance is to glide Alutemu's Kurtrus back into his deck, which looks to be very possible next turn. But Alutemu counters with the unthinkable play of completing and playing Kurtrus on turn 5, leading to a very clean win. It was a very well played weekend from Gur, but you just can't beat that.
It's fine. He can complete quest on this turn almost certainly, right? I think he just needed one extra piece of card draw, which he now has with the Spectral Sight, the trade, break the weapon, whatever. And then he has Glide going into what is very likely a Kurtrus turn for Alutemu. So all of a sudden, that massive advantage that Alutemu got with Kurtrus very possibly a full turn ahead of his opponent could just be reset once Kurtrus is shuffled in.
That is exactly right, unless Alutemu gets second glide of his own, uses glide to get Kurtrus, and glides back Gur's glide.
Or, unless he gets exactly runner off of the Illidari studies, and then he can play Kurtrus this turn, right? Because he's drawn 2, 3 with the weapon, 4 with the double jump, so it's exactly studies. Or 1 mana Spectral Sight! He can play Kurtrus this turn!
God, you're right! I've not seen this! Turn 5, Kurtrus on curve!
Oh, that's so sick!
Oh my god, I feel bad for Gur. I mean, he did the best he could to play around it by maintaining the glide. Completely agree.
Yeah.
But you just cannot beat Kurtrus this early.
Oh, what a draw.
I see.
All right. The one potential problem for Alutemu is maybe he runs out of efficient card draw, because the Spectral Sight might be hard to outcast next turn.
That's fair, yeah.
Il'gynoth in hand currently, so I have hardly ever seen breaking all sorts of records in APAC today, Derek.
Yeah, exactly. Alutemu, the Glide Master himself, even if he isn't playing Glide to win the game, he's playing around Glide to win the game. You just cannot beat this man in an aerial dogfight with the Glides. He's too strong. And so 2 games to 1 up.
Given that Possessi had already qualified to the World Championships earlier this year, his goal in playoffs this weekend was very simple: crush people's dreams. And he sort of did that versus Alan. Despite ultimately losing the series, just look at this absurd win he was able to steal versus the Paladin. I swear, that class is just cursed in APAC.
The question is if you just don't attack, because there are a couple of poisonous beasts with the Basilisk, the Venomous Scorpid. He's going for it.
Ooh.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh my god! He gets 2!
Double points? Are you joking?
Oh my god, for the Devout Pupil as well!
It's just hero.
Oh!
Hero power is lethal here because it's 2 poisons.
That is unbelievable.
Possessi is just...
He's not human. Possessi cannot be human. He is too good. How does this happen? Oh!
Emoting the emoter. Derek Allen met his match.
He actually BMs after rolling double Scorpid. Oh, I love APAC.
Probably only in response to Alan for saying that was a mistake, because I think you caught it right at the very end there, that what if Alan just doesn't trade to give no possibility of poison?
Yep.
Now to move on to the winners. I wanted to highlight a very nice sequence of play from McBanterface, who, in his semi-final versus Nao Gadan, was able to strike a perfect balance between completing his own quest and disrupting his opponent's. By saving his double jump until the turn after Nao Gadan was likely to get Kurtrus in hand, he glided, glowed, whatever. He sent Kurtrus packing and was able to close out the game a few turns later. McBanterface the 5th best player in Americas? I don't think so.
So I think he wants to like save double jump to potentially pull glide next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense.
So he gets 2 draws here, 1 draw here, and then 1 trade here. And then saves double jump. Okay. So looking at the remainder of his deck, he's got 1 I-Beam, 2 Glides, and 1 Spectral Sight as far as cards. So it's a 50-50 whether or not he does hit Glide from the double jump. He's going to go for
Here
it.
he goes. Rips it.
So now he's got to think about what cards he doesn't want to add back to his deck. Card draw at this point is good in the deck. So Crimson
problem
Runner
is-
fine, double jump fine.
Yeah, and the problem is most of the things that he would cast here end up drawing him a card if he's not careful. Like, I think he just plays the Glide. Maybe he plays a Sigil Runner, I don't know. I think he just plays the Glide. He wants to get rid of the Arcanist. He's seen the Killing All Day games where all they drew was Arcanists and stuff. Wow. So literally going for highest density of card draw possible, and who cares about the combo? That does make some sense. Chalk it up, it's 2-2. Assuming that Banterface doesn't do something heinous here. And he's going to be 1 game away from the final of the playoffs.
And also, just a clarification for the last game. Shout out to A-Bar for going back and looking for us. There was no preloaded tour guide hero power.
It's always sad when the correct play gets punished, and that's kind of been the story of a lot of the season for Alan. Having a truly horrendous start to the season despite seemingly playing very well, things were looking pretty bad for him before something just changed. Going 17-1 in series score in the second half of the season, he got right through to the finals of the playoffs, looking favoured versus Glory too. But in the final game of the series, Alan has to start applying pressure to outpace Glory's hero power, and so he plays Squirrel. The correct play that turns out to be a disaster with top deck piercing shot for Glory. An incredible season for Alan, but it's Glory who's in with the chance at the back-to-back World Championship trophy.
Quick shot, which would also let him draw a card immediately.
That's fair.
There's only 1 Rhino left, but to be fair, he's in a bad spot now that either line seems unlikely to get the job done. But that is a piercing shot that's going to deal 5 damage. Hero power for the 7 damage. Aim shot hero power would have the potential to be lethal next turn, but Alan can hero power to get out of range of that.
Even in the worst case scenario, Alan can't hit the lethal. I think he's coming to the conclusion that he's lost at the final hurdle. 17-1 he went over the past month of play. But when it finally matters, Glory, our current world champion, is going back home, back where he belongs to the World Championship for the chance at the back-to-back trophy.
That's unbelievable, the story that Glory has had this season. Just the fact that the first couple weeks he had gone 0-2, the well-plays are thrown out, Glory pops off, Alan is going to fall at the very last hurdle. Glory turns it around the last couple weeks, escapes relegation, gets into playoffs, gets the good seeding, and has won our playoffs. He's going through to the World Championship again.
Truly unbelievable. I could not be more happy for Glory. This is such a turnaround for him. He did incredibly well last year, all the way up to winning the entire World Championships. And this season as well, the turnaround from potential relegation all the way up to another World Championships. We have to, of course, give a huge shout out to Alan. He turned around in one of the most incredible seasons of play I've ever seen, as he went from 2 points after 4 weeks to winning, second winning, getting to the finals of the playoffs, and almost getting his stamp in Hearthstone history, going to the World Championships. But it's Glory who takes the day. 2 years in a row, Gia. Japan are just unstoppable.
I've been accused of being a turncoat or sitting on the fence when it comes to APAC versus Europe, rooting for both sides to try and always come out on top. And my defense, quite simply, can you blame me? Just look at this lethal from Gabby in the grand finals. As much as I like Poe and Glow in Japan, this is just on another level. Can't I love all my babies equally?
Could this be any more of a lethal?
None can stand against the Serpent Lords.
And here we go.
Here we go indeed.
We've seen this time and time again.
It needs to do a lot, though, Raven. Like, a lot.
I believe you. There's a germination. Does that help? There's another germination. Does that help?
With 2 germinations, do you hold the Solar now for the Cenarian Ward to help you get the survival that you need to get through this?
Guess not.
Casting the Solar now,
wait,
he's
he got
seen
Cenarian.
the Cenarian.
What did he get?
Forget it! They're not Bly's 8s anymore! They're Gabby 8s! That's just what they're called now! Hello? Get out!
I'm just waiting. It's lethal.
What are you still doing in Gabby's
Yeah, hero
game?
power. Hero power.
Just hero
face.
power! It's insane! Mihai, language hacker, if you're watching, that's when you clap your opponent, not when they just drew a field contact when they had 3 cards left in their deck. That's what getting unlucky looks like. Hold that L! 2-1! Game 3!
What a game. You said it had to be big, and that is probably the single most explosive Druid turn I may have ever seen, and maybe single most important of Gabby's career.